Hello, my name is Steve Packer, plant doctor at Moana Nursery. Here to talk to you today about planting onions, shallots, and garlic in the fall. So we've had a nice summer. Everyone's harvested their tomatoes and peppers and everything else in their garden. And you know, most people think, well, that's it. But you know what? In the fall, like in October, is a great time to put in garlic and shallots and onions. And so we're going to take a few minutes and talk about how to do that so you can have a successful harvest next spring. Okay, it's fall here in Reno, and I'm ready to go ahead and plant some garlic. Before you get started, you want to find an area in your garden that gets good full sun for at least 8 hours a day. You want to go ahead and plant your garlic in soil that's well drained and has a lot of organic matter in it. Once you get the area decided, you want to go ahead and plant your garlic at least 3 inches deep. That allows for 1 inch or 2 inches of soil to be on top of the bulb here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hand trowel, which is about 6 inches long, and I'm going to go ahead and just make a little trench right here, probably about 3 inches deep. And then what I'm going to do before I put in the cloves is I'm going to take some organic fertilizer like this, and I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle that in the trench. Just a little handful here. This is a slow release fertilizer that will kind of slowly feed the roots of that garlic clove over a period of 2 months. So once I got the fertilizer organized in there, I'm going to take these little cloves here, and they needed to be planted with the pointed side up, the flat side down. I'm going to go ahead and space them about maybe 4 inches apart. In order to do that, I got this little measuring stick with little tick marks on it here. So I'm going to use that as a guide to plant every 4 inches. So I'm going to set one here, and then I'm going to go ahead and measure and plant again right here. Again, the flat side down, the pointy tip up. A lot of times there's a tendency to plant too close together. If you do it too close together, then your cloves won't develop into a larger bulb, so keep that in mind. So once you got the cloves in there, then you want to lightly cover them over. Just like that. Make sure there's a good covering of soil. Kind of pat it down. And then I usually just go ahead and take a little watering can and just water it in really good, because during the fall here in the Truckee Meadows, we don't get a whole lot of moisture, so it's good to kind of pre-moisten. And then after that, just put a little light covering of compost to help maintain soil moisture and moderate the temperature of the soil. Okay, another great garden bulb to put in the fall is shallots. And I love shallots. It's kind of like a cross between an onion and a garlic. It's got a real mild flavor. And shallots are planted about the same way as you do garlics, except you need to space them a little bit further, because this little bulb right here, even though it's kind of tiny, as it develops over winter and the spring, it will develop many offshoots that becomes a larger clump, and so you need a little bit of room. So on the shallots, I'm going to go ahead and space these guys about 6 inches apart. Now that seemed like it's pretty far, but that's sufficient for your shallots. So space your shallots 6 inches apart, to 3 inches deep in the soil with 2 inches of soil on top of the bulb, and you're good to go. Okay, so here I have some white onions. They're small little bulblets right now, but once you get these guys planted, they will be a nice size. And so we're gonna space them 4 inches each or apart, and then about 3 inches deep to allow for about 2 inches of soil on top. Again, remember to go ahead and plant with the pointy side up and the flat part of the bulb down, and everything will be okay. Make sure you have at least 4-inch spacing so that when they do develop in the spring, you'll have some nice size, beautiful onion bulbs to use for your cooking and barbecuing and everything else. And I've already kind of pre-fertilized the trenches, making sure I'm getting them at the right spacing here. Once again, I'm Steve Packer, plant doctor at Moana Nursery. If you have any questions about planting garden bulbs like garlic, onions, or shallots, please come to any one of our stores and talk to one of our plant doctors. We'd be more than happy to answer those questions and help you with any other garden issues that you may have.